Hi fourth graders, I'm back to do some more fractions and decimals with you. Over the last couple of days we had converted fractions to decimals and then back from decimals to fractions. Again, two different ways to represent the same number or the same value. We could represent 3/10 as a fraction, 3 over 10. I could represent 3/10 as a decimal, 0.3 or 3/10. 3 right in the decimal point would be 3/10. So we're going to be doing the same today, or similar. We're going to be given on page 13 of our packet, our newest fractions packet that I've been calling decimals packet because it is mostly decimals from here on out through that packet. On page 13, it's going to ask you to, when given a word form of a number such as 28 hundredths, to write it as a fraction or as a decimal. And as we walk through a few of those together, we're going to be writing them as both a fraction and as a decimal. On page 13, the directions will tell you, given the following word form numbers or numbers in word form, write them as a fraction. Or later, the directions might say, given the following numbers in word form, write them as a decimal. We're just going to be writing them on this table I made, both the fraction and the decimal. So, for instance, if we were given the number 28 hundredths, we could write that as a fraction and we could write that as a decimal. 28 hundredths means we're in a number smaller than 1, less than 1 whole. We have 28 hundredths as a fraction. I'm hearing 28 as my numerator. I have 28 hundredths. 28 over 100. We've done a lot of that going many weeks back when we were in the classroom, and then of course the last couple of days and weeks on the Google Classroom. 28 hundredths. To write that as a decimal, we've been doing that the last couple of days. I'm looking at 28 hundredths, a decimal point, 2/10, 8 hundredths, 28 hundredths. In word form, 7/10, 7/10. As a fraction, I have a numerator of 7 tenths. I have 7/10. A little bit more than a half. On my way to being a whole, this is a number less than 1, as many fractions and decimals are. That same number, 7/10, written as a decimal, I'm only in the tenths place, so that's the place value position right behind the decimal point. I'm in tenths, and I have 7 of them. 7/10. The next one here is 63 hundredths. 63 hundredths, 63 over 100, or 63 out of 100, 63 hundredths, and written as a decimal, 6/10, 363 hundredths. I was only going to do those 3. I'm going to add one more because I just thought of it a moment ago. One of the things we haven't seen much of, it's possibly come up on some of the problems that you were practicing with over the last couple of days. If a number was, and this is going to be in word form first, as these have been, if it was only 6, oops, I was about to write the number 6, but word form, if it was 6 hundredths, that can still be written, of course, as a fraction and as a decimal. 6 hundredths, I only have 6 out of the 100, I have 6 hundredths. That's probably very familiar and kind of the same. What changes a little bit here in the decimal is that we're in the hundredths place. We're not in the tenth, we're in the hundredths place. But we do need a placeholder here. It is a 0. It would be very similar to if I had the number 300. I would not just write that as a 3. That looks like 3 ones, and that looks like I have 3 Skittles rather than 300. That's very different. There needs to be that place value holder. So 6 hundredths, I have my decimal point. I don't have any tenths. I don't have any tenths in the number 6 hundredths, but I do have 6 in the hundredths place. So 0.06. I don't know how many times we've seen that, but we do need a place value holder in the tenths. And then just listing it in the hundredths, 6 hundredths. Thank you for checking out the video. You're going to be practicing these skills on page 13 of our latest fractions packet, or I've been calling it the decimals packet. And I will see you tomorrow. Keep up the hard work, guys.